A woman's love is always a journey that is both beautiful and fragile. Women differ from men in the way they love, the way they hope, the way they expect, and the way they fear. While a man's journey of love often begins with desire, attraction, curiosity, and sometimes conquest, a woman loves through perception, intuition, and subtle signals that outsiders rarely notice. Women do not give their hearts quickly, but when they do, it is a complete surrender, a trust into which they invest so much: expectations, emotions, waiting, and even sacrifice. Yet, because they love with such delicacy, women also carry a quiet fear, a fear they rarely voice or admit, but which exists in every relationship they have, from their first loves to those that come later. That fear is the fear of loving the wrong person. Women fear investing emotions in someone who does not cherish them. Fear giving their whole heart to someone who is not sincere. Fear sacrificing too much for someone who does not make them a priority. Fear loving someone who only liked them at first, but then changed, grew cold, or left. For women, emotions are not a game. They are something they cherish, protect, and use to connect with the world. But love is something that can defy reason, making them the most vulnerable. Women can be strong at work, independent in life, and confident in society. But when it comes to love, they become more vulnerable than anyone else. They fear things men sometimes do not see, or see but have never experienced. Men often assess risk with logic. Women assess risk with emotion. A man might think, what's there to fear? If it doesn't work out, just break up. But a woman thinks, if I open my heart and that person leaves, how long will it take to heal? If I trust the wrong person, will I have the strength to love again? That fear does not come from weakness. It comes from the depth of a woman's love, deeper than men realize. And the greatest fear women have is not betrayal, though that hurts deeply. Nor is it rejection, though, that wounds the soul. A woman's greatest fear is giving her heart to the wrong person, walking alongside someone unworthy, placing her trust in someone who does not belong to her, because that not only steals time and tears, it takes away a part of who they are, the part that believes in love, in men, and in themselves. This part of the story is often misunderstood by men. Many think women are too sensitive, overthinking, or making things complicated, but they don't realize every worry has a reason. Behind a cautious girl is a heart once broken. Behind a silent girl is the disappointment she endured. Behind a strong girl are tears no one ever saw. No woman is born suspicious. She just learned how to protect herself. And so, to truly understand a woman, a man must not only observe her actions, but also look deeply into the fears within her. Fears she dares not speak aloud, but always hopes someone will understand. Women do not love with logic, nor do they love with cold, calculated choices. They love with feelings, with connection, with the little details that men sometimes overlook. A simple question from you can stay in their mind all day. One moment of your care can move their hearts, but one careless moment can make them worry. Men often separate love from life. Women bring their whole life into love. For a woman, loving someone means opening her heart, opening the door, and revealing the deepest parts of herself. They show you weaknesses they hide from others. They share stories they have never told anyone else. They want to lean on you in ways they cannot lean on anyone else. So the moment their heart stirs, fear arises alongside it. The more they like you, the more afraid they become. The more they love, the more they worry. The more they hope, the more cautious they are. Where does this fear come from? There are three main reasons. Women are more emotional than men, and emotions are the most vulnerable part of us. Women are born with a finer ability to sense emotions. They read body language better, analyze attitudes more deeply, and notice changes faster. But because of this, they are also more easily affected. One careless word can hurt them. A small change in attitude can make them uneasy. One broken promise can make them doubt. Society puts more pressure on women than men when love fails. People often blame women more. Why did she choose someone like that? Maybe she wasn't good enough. She got left because she didn't know how to keep him. These judgments unintentionally create pressure, making women afraid to make mistakes, afraid to fail, afraid to love the wrong person. Women carry deeper wounds than men realize. Many women still carry old scars. Their first love, from betrayal, from being looked down upon, from someone leaving without explanation. They do not forget. They just learn to stay silent to avoid repeating the same mistakes. And because of all these things, the fear of loving the wrong person becomes the greatest fear in their lives. Women always carry fears they cannot admit, cannot share with friends, and especially cannot tell the man they like. It's not because they want to hide, but because they fear that once spoken they will appear weak, vulnerable, or misunderstood. Many men look at women and think they are complicated. But if you understand these 7 hidden fears, you will see women with different eyes, gentler, more compassionate, and deeper. 1. Fear of loving more than the other person and becoming the one who hurts more. This is a fear all women have, no matter how strong or cold they seem. Women don't want to be the ones who love more, give more, sacrifice more, text first more, or wait longer. Not because they want to keep score, but because they know the one who loves more is always the one who hurts more. They fear being seen as clingy, too invested, or needy. They fear being the initiator will make the man appreciate them less. They fear giving too much will make them the easy choice. So sometimes women pull back, not because they stop liking you, but because they fear liking too much. 2. Fear of not being good enough, no matter how perfect you think she is. Inside, she may still hold a quiet fear. I'm not good enough to keep this man. Women tend to doubt themselves. Not pretty enough, not interesting enough, not smart enough, not successful enough, not charming enough, not attractive enough. And especially, they fear you will find someone better and leave. They will never say this aloud because they fear being seen as insecure. But inside, they quietly worry they might be replaced. 3. Fear of being hurt by small things. Things men consider not a big deal. A careless word, a casual attitude, a broken promise, or a small change in how you text. Men think, it's nothing. Women think, is something wrong? Women are more emotional, sensitive, and subtle. Because of that, they feel hurt by small things men don't notice. It's not that they want to cause trouble. It's because they have been hurt by things like that before. One careless word can trigger painful memories. A cold attitude can remind them of someone who left. 4. Fear of sacrificing without being appreciated. Women give a lot in love, time, emotions, care, attention, priority, late nights, silent worries. But they don't want these things to be taken for granted. They want to feel appreciated. Even a simple sentence like, I see how much you've tried, can make them feel secure. Their biggest fear is not the sacrifice itself, but sacrificing for the wrong person. Someone who doesn't see what they've done. 5. Fear of being abandoned without reason. This is a deep fear rooted in a woman's emotional nature. They fear the man who loves them today might wake up one day and no longer feel the same. No signs, no explanations, no clear reason. He just suddenly changes. Many women have experienced this. A man suddenly pulls away, grows cold, or disappears without a goodbye. That's why, even when deeply in love, part of them always fears that day will come again. 6. Fear of their life being turned upside down. When women love, they are willing to adjust their lives, change habits, change priorities. That spend more time, rearrange work, open their world to you. But they fear that when the relationship ends, all those things will become a hard-to-fill emptiness. They fear losing a part of the life they built around you. Fear places they once went together becoming painful. Fear memories turning into burdens. That's why women carefully check before investing too much, because they know the price of loss can be very high. 7. Fear that the man will change after conquering. One of the most common fears. Men are only good at the beginning. At first he's caring, gentle, romantic, committed, and proactive. But after having her, everything gradually fades away. Fewer messages, less attention, passion disappears, respect diminishes. Women have seen this so often, they assume change is inevitable. So even if they really like you, they keep a distance. Not because they want to make things difficult, but because they fear you will become one of the men who disappointed them. Why do women rarely speak these fears aloud? Because they fear being seen as troublesome, fear being judged as insecure, fear men think they're dramatic. Fear once spoken, men will exploit those emotional weaknesses. Women are silent, not because they don't feel. They are silent because they feel too much. What men need to understand: no woman is complicated. There are only fears they've learned to hide. And if a man is sensitive enough to notice, patient enough to listen, and sincere enough to reassure, women will open their hearts in ways they never have with anyone else. If you are reading these lines, it means you care about understanding women better, loving more deeply, and becoming a mature, thoughtful man. Remember, the most beautiful love is not one without fear. But when two people together turn that fear into a strength to love more, to grow more, and to live more authentically with each other. You may not be perfect, but you can be the most wonderful person in her heart if you know how to walk with her through every fear with sincerity and patience.